Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Move tool in SketchUp. So I have a cube here to use as my example, or a box. And to use the Move tool, you can either click M on your keyboard, and you'll get these arrows going in 4 different directions, or you can find it on the side right here. So similarly to the rotate tool, if you've already watched my video on rotating, if you click on one face, so a face meaning, if you think about like a die or a dice, you have all these different faces or sides that make up your box. So if I try to click this and move it, you'll notice that it only moves this face, so it's stretching and distorting the shape, which maybe you want in some certain instances, but right now that is not what we want. We want to be able to move this whole shape, say, over here. So to do that, I'm going to select the whole object. So I'm going to click my spacebar to get the selection tool, and I'm going to click and drag a box around it. Now, right now I don't really have anything else in my model, but let's say I had something back here. When you click and drag a box around this, it will select whatever is behind it. So keep that in mind when you're trying to select, to make sure that you're selecting it and there's nothing else behind it. Also make sure that you're selecting around the whole object. If you only select around half of it, you'll notice that only part of it was selected, which is outlined in blue. So find a space where there's nothing else behind it. You're going to click and drag a box around it, and then I'm going to press M on my keyboard, and now when you move it, it will move in the direction depending on which face you choose. So for instance, if I click the top face right here, it's going to move it on the blue axis, or the Z axis, so it's moving it up and down for the most part. And if you want to have it move in a straight line, you can hold your Shift key and it will stay in that spot for the most part. When you want to place it, so let's say I found the space I want it is over here, I'm just going to click again on my mouse. So you have to click, with most things in SketchUp, there's a 2-click action. So you need to click once to move it, and then click again to place it. So you can see when I selected this face, it moved it towards me or farther away from me. So depending on where you need to move it, you might need to like zoom out or rotate a little bit in order to get it where you want it to go. Again, if I chose the bottom, I have more control to move it down. You can see that dotted line is basically, think of it as like a leash or a string that's showing you where it was before. So you might have to do some orbiting to move things down or around. And you might have to click and pull it down to get it where you want it to go. Click or pull it up. So I'm pulling it up, but you can see it's actually going into the distance. There we go. And that is how you move.